Today is day 5, and I still have to get Moira behaving much better in public outside of the house. And at this point, we are not ready. This is Moira, and I'm Zach George. Moira, the German Shepherd dog, is looking for a home, and I've only got 2 weeks to teach her how to behave so that someone will be willing to adopt her. Okay, we have a situation, and as you can see, it's not going to be easy. She jumps excessively, lunges at almost any distraction. Moira loves to bark, and she definitely pulls on leash and uses her teeth to interact with the world a little too inappropriately. I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed. If that was a dog, she would be like, I'm not paying attention to you, I'm paying attention to that. I will train this dog. Look at this loose leash right now. Shake, yes. Much better, yes. Look at me, is she getting trained? This is reality dog training. Today we're gonna cover some of the most challenging issues there are, and I'm showing you how we deal with everything, including how to give your dog breakfast. You'll remember that Moira goes crazy when you give her food, but we started working on that last time. We're making it a little bit more difficult because we're giving her Nom Nom, which she's going to go nuts over. I mean, you can see the squash and the sweet potatoes and the chicken. Nom Nom basically sends you pre-portioned meals for your dog. I love how it arrives freezing cold every 2 weeks. You would not want to cook a homemade diet for your dog unless you really knew what you're doing. Dogs require different nutrients than we do in different amounts. So I love that Nom Nom's meals are designed by a veterinary nutritionist who takes into account your dog's breed and weight and more. Okay, remember, every moment is a training opportunity, so let's go. What's up, Moira? Don't you jump on me. Good, can you sit? That's very good. Yes. Awesome, she didn't jump on me. We're making great progress on this. Look at that, she's devouring this. If you guys wanna try Nom Nom for your dogs, you can get 50% off of a 2-week trial by going to trynom.com/Zach. I'll have a link below. Hey, Squeaky, you ready to learn something? We've got so much to cover today. I'm hoping to teach her not to jump on the furniture, how to walk better on leash, how to prevent resource guarding. I'm really hoping to teach her to calm down. Wish me luck on that one. And I'm gonna update you on her crate training progress or lack thereof. I have got 1 more day of serious training to lay a foundation with Moira before I take her out in public for her first training session. We're teetering right here. Oh gosh, I mean, she's thinking about jumping. Yes. Good girl. I'll be with you in a second, camera. Here. The first thing I want to cover today is her first formal leash walking session. You saw on day 1 how unruly she was on leash. She was lunging at ducks. She was spinning around in circles when she saw my own dog, Inertia, in the distance, as well as other dogs we encountered on a walk. Just yesterday, we were taking some photos with her. A couple of dogs walked by, and she lost her mind. Leash training can be one of the most challenging things to teach a high-energy dog like Moira. A dog like this walks much faster than we do, they have more energy than we do, and their curiosity is an 11 out of 10. In fact, for her first leash training session, I won't even be going outside. I need to make sure I can get her attention on me in a really distraction-free environment like this with artificial distractions before I can ever hope to train her to listen to me around something that's so overstimulating like other animals. As with any training session, I like to first verify that I can get the dog's attention on me. And right now, those ears are facing straight ahead. They're not paying attention to me at all. Let me see something. Watch your ears. Moira. Yes. Good. Did you see them twitch back there? Good girl. Leave it. Look at me. Yes. I like to start with a leave it, look at me combo because it verifies that she has it in her to be, no, here. Sit. It verifies that she has it in her, yes. Pay attention to me over a distraction. Yes, good girl. I'm making it very clear to her I've got a strong currency right here. I'm using some jerky treats today that she loves. Oh, nice. So I want her really focused on that. I'm gonna even hold up the treats up here to my eyes. Okay, it looks like Moira isn't quite getting this yet. Ideally, we'd like that to look a little bit better. The main thing I'm looking for here is just that she's focused on me. Right there, she's not focused on me. Yes, there she is. Look for those small moments when they're paying attention to you at first. Anytime she glances up at me, I'm gonna be there to reward her with a small treat. Yes, I'm being very liberal with the treats because this is her first leash training session that I'm aware of ever. Yes, I even like that she's following me there. I wanna point out too, so far we've had a very loose leash. in the house. But I'm gonna make this training session a lot more difficult for her in a second, but first things first. Here, yes. Come on, let's go. She's really dialed in right now, so this is actually a pleasant surprise. Good. Here, let me see if I can get her to do a basic sit. Yes, sit. So good, you are so smart. Okay, easy peasy, right? She's walking, she's paying attention to a treat. Most dogs will do this. But what happens when she gets distracted? Paying attention while distracted in any form at all is the other major part of preparing Moira to listen while in public. So I'm hoping to use this to simulate a barking dog or something during our indoor leash training session. I mean, the fact is I want her listening to me when she's excited and wants to pursue something. And that's arguably one of the hardest parts of training a dog, to walk on leash or anything else. Okay, fine, but can I break her focus and get her to go the opposite direction like she would have to do if we encountered a dog in public? Come on, let's go. Nope. See, I mean, you see how she lunges towards that? But I know she's got it in her to stay. She's just, it's early in the day and she's really amped up right now. We saw it yesterday, she did really well, but right now she's having a tough time. So I'm trying to make it easy for her. And again, this is all related. Stay while distracted is related to leash training because we have to get them to pay attention to us. Stay. Here. Good. And right now she cares more about that toy than she does the treats, but she'll take treats. Stay. And of course, there are many options. We can even use this to help train leash walking moving forward. But first things first, okay. Stay. Here. Come on, let's go. Nope, see? Look at that, she's pulling towards the toy. If that was a dog, she would be like, I'm not paying attention to you, I'm paying attention to that. I'm trying to guide her away from the distraction, and man, this is going to take longer than 2 weeks. If she can't leave that toy burrito alone, there's virtually no chance she's going to disregard a dog anywhere within 50 yards of her. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to mix up some variables here. I've decided to upgrade my treat here to real chicken. Do you want this? Look at that. This is really, really awesome, actually. I mean, it can be a little frustrating when you're trying to teach your dog how to leave a toy alone for a leash training session like this, but I mean, real chicken. You want this instead? Putting it right at her nose, look at that. She's saying, I would rather play with this toy than eat that chicken. Okay, obviously we have a lot of work to do on Moira's impulse control, so bear with me as I keep troubleshooting here. I know she wants to play tug. I mean, that's the thing she wants to do. So maybe I can use that as a currency. The risk is with an early training session like this, with a dog like this, is that you risk really getting them amped up, and leash pulling is very compatible with being amped up. But if I can get her really focused on me for a toy, it could still work. So that's what I want to try. So I'll probably do that in a minute, but I'm not quite ready to give up on asking her to ignore a toy right now. And I'm gonna try maybe a lower value tug toy and seeing if I can call her off of this before we move forward. She just keeps throwing me lots of curveballs. Then maybe we'll work our way up to the burrito later. Here. Okay, sit, stay. Look at me. Okay, much better. Good. Not quite as exciting as the burrito. I understand. Here, come on. Yes. Oh, that was really good. Did you see how she looked at the tug toy? She still likes the tug toy, but she decided to pay attention to me instead. Come on. I just want to kind of walk back and forth a little bit here. Get her really focused on me. Look at that. She looks like a show dog. Come on. Let's go this way. Come on. Yes, nice stop too, did you see that? So when you see your dog struggling sometimes with something, you gotta say, all right, maybe I'm asking too much of them. What can I do to make it a little bit easier and then work my way up to it? That'll actually give you much faster results rather than just trying to power through. At least that's been my experience. Good girl. Moira, yes, she thought about it. Did you see that? You could read her like a book. I just wanted that to play out. Now let's give the distraction a little motion here. Come here, Moira. Yes. That's particularly tough for her when it has motion. Good girl. Yes, I love how she's looking at it and then looking at me. And look, loose leash, this is what we want. All right, but let's see if we can do a little bit better than this. Let's go back to the burrito now. Moira, come on. Good. Yes, that was great. Good girl. Here, Moira. Come on, yeah, good, there we go. There we go. Here, oh man, I got too excited. Let go. Let go. Leave it. Good, let go. Stay. Moira, come on. Yes. But I'm really trying very hard not to pull her at all because I want her thinking from the inside out. Moira. Here. Yes. No, I mean, she's like, okay, I think I get it. Like once she gets it, she's happy to comply much more easily. So let's up the ante. Moira. Here, come on. Yes. Very good. Now we're getting traction. Good. In fact, I'll even go ahead and reward her with the thing. This can be controversial, but I really want her to know that sometimes she's going to get exactly what she wants when she listens. Let go. Stay. Sit. Here, Moira. Wait until I get her attention. Stay. Here. Good, yes. Okay, come here. Nice. Moira. Here. Good. She will get triggered in a second over that burrito. Stay. So I am having to do a little more interrupting than I would like to have to. I don't like having to say and remind her. Notice the ears. Her ears are fascinating to watch from a training perspective. You can see when she's like paying attention to me versus when she's locked onto, yes, see that? I'll reward that right there when those ears come back towards me. With her, I'm looking to reinforce all kinds of things that I want her to keep doing in the future. With a high energy German Shepherd rescue dog like Moira, you'll take anything you can get early on. I want to proof this a little more. I want to make this even more exciting. Stay. Good. Here. This way. You can see the inner monologue she must be having there. Like, I really want that, but it's not working for me. I need to listen to this guy over here, and then maybe he'll give me what I want. Stay, very good, yes. So, getting there, not perfect, a little messy. The only way that I'm going to be satisfied that Moira is going to listen to me in public is if she can show that she's got it in her to listen around all kinds of distractions. So let's mix this up even more and use the chicken as the distraction and the toy as the reward now. Good, let go. She hadn't forgotten about it. You gotta be quick. You're probably wondering if this is confusing since I was just telling her to leave the burrito alone. I don't think so, because anything is okay with permission. This is only going to help broaden our communication moving forward. So this is one way to bring context to your training so that your dog learns that sometimes something is okay and sometimes that thing is not okay. Obviously, this is not what we have in mind when we're taking a walk, playing tug of war with our dog, but I'm learning what motivates her. And see, this is what I mean. You've got to be prepared to communicate with them through these energy outbursts. So using a toy to teach a dog like this to walk nicely on leash is an approach that can have side effects, but you can work through them. Good. Leave it. Moira. Come on. Come on. Yes, there we go. I mean, notice how I resisted the tension on the leash in that specific example to really let her think. And that's what we want. She's got to do that a few dozen times in a lot of different contexts for her to really start to understand what it is we want. And we have to make sure with dogs like this that we're fulfilling their energy and mental needs. That's why fetch is always a great thing to do with a dog like this. Let go. Here. And she's not forgotten about that chicken either. Isn't that nice? By getting her to tune out an obvious, amazing distraction over here, I'm planting the seed on future walks for her to tap into that logic. Self-control is not something dogs get overnight, so you've got to practice with them like this really often. Moira, yes. Good, I love that. When your dog shows you they're starting to pick up a concept, sometimes you really want to take advantage of that learning momentum they have. Good girl. Good, all right, let go. So I'm gonna pick up the pace and try to get a lot of successes in a short time while she's getting it. I mean, that's the power of a toy. So you can see, using a toy can definitely take a lot more energy out of you, but it can be very effective if your dog is into it, because right now she's walking right over cooked chicken. It's not like she's just forgotten it's there. I love that we're doing this series because there's so much troubleshooting that has to go on. And so it's gonna be interesting to see how this all unfolds when we go out into the real world. For our first leash training session though, I'd say we made a lot of progress with her. I feel like every lesson we have, we just really get to know each other even better. She learns what I want, I learn what she wants, and we use that to build communication. So remember, those early leash training sessions are just about getting your dog to pay attention to you while on a leash and moving. And sometimes we need to make that as easy as possible for them, only gradually increasing the difficulty level. Now, as you've been seeing so far, it's been a bit of a challenge to control Moira's environment. The crate has not been successful with her at all to this point. When you put her in a crate, she really becomes frantic. She starts pacing back and forth. She has excessive panting, and she just visually appears distressed. However, controlling the environment is a key part of training any new dog. And this is often the case with adult rescue dogs. You don't necessarily know their past. You don't know what they've been through. I mean, for all we know, she could have been living in a crate 12 hours a day or more. Or maybe she was destined from the beginning to just not be a dog that does well in a crate. Those exist too. I addressed this topic specifically in my book, Guide to a Well-Behaved Dog, and we're going to put it into practice today. I can't just let her be completely free in the house. She could become destructive. Bad habits could get created. I mean, for example, she could start chewing up things, or she could start ignoring me when I call her, more difficult to get to. So there are so many reasons to make sure that your dog is in a controlled setting, not the least of which is their safety. But even if for whatever reason you weren't concerned about those things because your dog was good on that, you still must have a way to keep your dog safe when an unexpected guest comes, a delivery person comes. There are so many different scenarios where you cannot give your dog 100% of your attention during various parts of the day. So you have to make sure they're safe. So one of the ways that I've been relying on keeping her contained is having her on an indoor tie out. And she does much better here. She enjoys playing with her toys. She has more room and she doesn't exhibit the same symptoms that we saw in the crate, for example. And even overnight, I've still been sleeping downstairs with her, letting her sleep with me on the air mattress. I know, a potential big no-no when you're trying to train a dog. However, this is literally the only thing that I've seen so far that eliminates all signs of anxiety. To me, it's kind of a small price to pay in order to get a less anxious dog if her sleeping next to me causes her to feel better. And this might make matters a little more challenging when it comes to training her how to stay off the furniture, which we're going to address later. But if I were to leave the house, I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable with her being on the tie out unsupervised. So my challenge right now is to find a way to keep Moira completely safe while also keeping her stress level as low as can reasonably be expected. I think I have a plan. The main reason we use a crate in the first place is because it's a safe, dog-proofed area. And almost all of us have a way to accomplish the same thing without a crate, as we do over here. So this is our dog closet, you know, where we keep a lot of our dog supplies. There's plenty of room to walk around in here. In fact, I even have a crate here just for general use in case I have a dog that prefers to be in a cozy area. And it's climate controlled. It's really comfortable in here as well. And I have a hunch that she's going to be more comfortable in here for at least short periods of time. Long term, we'll have to see. I mean, that's the thing about a series like this. You just have to go with the flow. So I've got a camera set up in here. She's about ready for a nap, I'd say. So we're going to see how she does. Let me see. I'm going to just go in here with her, give her a tour, make sure we're recording. Nice. I love how she's exploring the crate already. Nice, girl. Here you go. And I'm just gonna keep that door open. My goal is not to get her in the crate unless she chooses to be in the crate, that's fine. So I want her in here voluntarily. Another thing I could do is give her a really good marrow bone that she likes. You can see she's into that. So I'm gonna throw some chicken, lots of tiny bits over here, and then I'm gonna back out and close the door. Good job. We're gonna close it. She's doing okay. The phone's blocking her here, but you can see she's not jumping on the door. She's not whining. You can hear the bone clacking and moving about in there. I mean, this is immediately better than the crate. Now we'll see what happens when she gets done with her bone. My hope though, she's gonna chew her bone and she's gonna take a nice little nap and everything's gonna be great and she'll view it as her happy place. We're not seeing the same symptoms we saw before in the crate. We're not seeing the panting, we're not seeing the pacing, the refusal to take a chew toy. There's still the chance she might become a little stressed. I'm not saying that this is going to be absolutely perfect, but the hope is that she'll adapt. It appears to be the case that confinement in and of itself doesn't stress her out in the extreme way that confinement via dog crate stresses her out. Part of being a good trainer to your dog and good teacher to them is being flexible and always being able to change your game plan. Moira is throwing so many curveballs at us. I'm having to change protocol all over the place to adapt to her. I'm sure you've noticed by now I'm not in a hurry at all to introduce my dogs to Moira because she's had a lot of experience playing with different types of dogs that better match her play style, and she does well with those kinds of dogs. Our oldest dog, Indiana, is over 15 years old now, and there is no way I'm gonna make her put up with this kind of energy from Moira. Inertia, in a similar way, will not do well with a dog that has this kind of play style. Inertia does not like getting bowled over and jumped on. She's a much more polite greeter to other dogs. But right now, there are bigger priorities in making sure that Moira knows how to take direction from a person before I just let her loose to play with any random dogs. It's been, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. The bone seems to be keeping her interest. You can see she's playing with it. Oh my goodness, now that is nice. Look at her going in the crate with the open door. So this is a way to potentially counter condition her to the crate. You know, when she sees, okay, I get to go in, I get to come out, let her get comfortable with it on her terms. And I'm really satisfied with her stress level right now being acceptable. It's been a little while since we've seen one of these barking outbursts. Moira, hey, can you relax? Why is she doing this? I'm not, well, wait a minute, what is this? My new classic Reeboks. Why is this on the floor? You can't have these, that would be tragic. There's a time to ignore barking, and there's a time to ask yourself if your dog is being reasonable when they're asking for your attention. And I think right now Moira's just bored. I totally understand that. So I'm gonna stop what I'm doing for a second and make some constructive use of her desire to interact with me. So I'm gonna try to lower her energy by engaging her in a training session. We need to work on lie down. She's been pretty tough on lie down. It's a new concept. Yes, good. Sit, stay. I'm trying to shift her mind from antsy to, let me pay attention to this guy. Sometimes you just have to snap into training mode. One thing I do wanna see how she does is, she really seemed to respond well to the heel position here. I like how she's on my right side here, doing well. Let me see if I can lure her into a stand. Here. Oh, she's thinking about shake. Yes. See how she thought about shake and then figured stand was what I was looking for? I'm feeding her really small pieces of treat in rapid succession to encourage her to hold that stand position. Okay, she doesn't really know how to nibble a treat just yet. Yes. Yes. Okay, come here, good girl, that's it. Good, lie down. We'll do some puppy push-ups here to get her mind off of the barking. And she's already is appearing a bit more calm. Lie down, yes. So I'm gonna put her back on the tie out here for a second. Leave some bits of chicken there. And then I'm gonna try ignoring her for a few seconds. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna stay in sight, because I don't wanna just totally freak her out by walking out of the room right now. And so for the time being, her barking has subsided. I'm gonna leave her with that toy to play with. She kind of likes to play with that one, I've noticed. So I'm gonna let her entertain herself for a bit. And it should go without saying, I mean, you can't expect those outbursts to be zero if you aren't putting in a lot of time with your dog as well. She is a high maintenance dog. Dogs like this with this amount of energy do require a lot of time and attention from us, particularly in the beginning. A lot of people are caught off guard by that, which is why high energy dogs like Moira end up in pounds and shelters. Hope here is that she's just gonna settle down and relax for a minute. And if she does, I'm gonna go ahead and put a word to it. I think we'll call it relax. I see that she's looking at me. I'm not gonna look at her. So right now I'm just gonna make a cup of tea. I want her to get used to seeing me, not pay attention to her, see me doing other things. Just because she's the center of our universe right now doesn't mean she needs to know it. She looks so fierce with that toy in her mouth. There we go, perfect. Relax. Good girl, relax. So teaching her something like relax or settle down really requires you to use the term in context. We call this capturing a behavior, which will take a good bit longer to teach, but it's really one of the better ways to teach settle because you're not acknowledging her lie down physical position there. You're acknowledging the fact that she's becoming more relaxed and checking out a little bit. That to me is what relax means. And I'm noticing that giving her an animal bone really tends to pacify her and satisfy her from time to time. But I also want to alleviate some potential concerns that she might be a resource guarder. It's natural for a lot of dogs to want to protect something like a bone. I definitely want to make an effort to prevent that from happening. I haven't seen any signs of it just yet, but then again, I haven't had to take a bone from her just yet. So I've got this very normal sized bone that I'm going to offer her. Off here. Let's go ahead and let her investigate that one for a minute. I mean, at some point in the future, I'd want to feel comfortable taking that away from her. You know, I want to caution you to be really careful about this. If you have a dog who's a severe resource guarder, you probably wouldn't just want to go ahead and give them a big bone like this. So far, I don't think she is. Let's say that you did have a dog that was a resource guarder and you wanted to get them away from something that they were protecting. Let me show you what you would do, because you've got to be able to manage the situation. And going in there and taking it away or pulling them away can sometimes trigger a dog and really get them to snap at you. So here's what I want to do. Moira, get her attention. I'm going to throw the chicken over there. So that's a good way to have a decoy. It's a good way to create a decoy, but I also want to go ahead and give it right back to her in this case, because I don't want to verify to her that I'm going to steal something she values. I'm going to give her some chicken over here. And this is very deliberate. I'm just raining tiny pieces of chicken around here. She's gonna get every bit of it. I'm not worried about it. To let her know that when a human comes near her, while she has something she likes, only good things happen. Let me see if I can call her off the bone. Moira. Sit. Here. That's a little tough. Here. Moira. There we go. We'll just toss some chicken here. Pick up the bone. Sit. Here, stay. Here, up here, I want those eyes. Stay. Ah, stay. I'm just really working with her on basic impulse control wherever I can, since I have such a short period of time with her. Good. I mean, the goal of this series is to see how far we can reasonably go with a dog in 2 weeks like Moira. So the bottom line here is we're trying to create this positive association with people being near something she values like a bone. Here, girl, what's that? I'll go ahead and pick it up. I'm avoiding pulling it away from her because I don't want to provoke her. I want to keep a good thing going here. Unless it's a really dangerous object, avoid just pulling it away from your dog. But this is all quite good here. I mean, you know, she's allowing me to hold it while chewing on it, which I like. I feel comfortable here. I'm reading her body language. She's not raising her lips. She's not freezing up or really acting protective. But I think this bone is actually going a little too quickly. It's probably not very healthy for her to consume this. I more just wanted to give you a good example of preventing resource guarding. So I'm gonna pick that up and put it away. Good job, here you go, girl. One habit that was obvious the moment Moira stepped foot into the house is that she loves jumping on furniture. Now, of course, I want to remind you guys, if it's okay with you, there's no harm in your dog jumping on your furniture. I mean, that's case by case. Nonetheless, I think that Moira really needs to understand, though, that when she is asked to stay off of furniture, she listened to that. I don't want a big German Shepherd dog jumping on my couch without permission. What are you doing, Moira? I think a great place to start with this is to practice a sit and stay while I sit down and really teach her that this is how you conduct yourself when there's a person on the couch. Sit. Yes. Stay. Yes. And Okay, come on, good girl. Very good. I mean, you saw how we taught sit, stay when we introduced the concept of stay to her, and we're just gonna do that here in a slightly different context so that she can understand the practical application of sit and stay. This is how we show them the concept of staying while we're on the furniture, just to introduce the general idea. But I do find with dogs who are in the habit of already doing this, jumping on the furniture, that you need to be quite quick about snapping into training mode and being able to redirect them into that sit, stay, down, stay, or whatever else. And this actually is probably a good way to work on impulse control with the furniture as well, just to do my training sessions from the couch. I mean, she has the desire to get up there. Yes, good girl. So we don't get mad, we don't yell at her. She just learns that every time she gets on the couch, I'm going to redirect her off of the couch. In other words, we make sure the behavior doesn't work for her. There's nothing good that comes from jumping on the couch. Now, if she were to try to jump on the furniture again, which I hope she doesn't, I would just simply redirect her by, calling her away. Come on over here, not yelling at her, not scolding her, but showing her the right thing to do, which is a sit or a down stay or relax or whatever. Very good. And like with your own dog, if you have company over, just really focus on practicing sit, stay in that different context. Here she's feeling a bit more playful. Okay, come on, let's go. And that was an example of redirecting. So I've got to go over here, grab a treat, and give it to her. Nice. And surely at this point, when we put these videos condensed like this, people will comment on how many treats we're giving. Yeah, we are kind of giving a lot of treats, but I'm trying to keep them small and high quality. Yes, good girl. So case in point, obviously we still have work to do on that, and hopefully eventually we teach her to relax. And notice right now she's completely off leash. That's because I'm focused on her and showing her very deliberately how to behave. Sit, stay. Yes, got a little excited there on purpose, just a little bit there. I want her to understand that stay even means stay when she's super excited and doesn't want to. Sit, stay. Yes, good girl. Okay, nice. And let's try again. Sit, stay. Whoo, boy. And you can see how she's confused there. I'm being relatively inviting to her. Okay, that didn't work. All right, back here, girl. Let's go. Stay. Don't want her to fail twice in a row. Stay. She's good with movement. Hey, Moira. Good girl. Yes. Sit. Stay. Yes. Okay, come on, there we go. So this is great. We're teaching her the concept of staying while I sit or, jump on the couch. Again, that's more exciting to a dog if you're wondering why I'm doing that. And if she'll stay there, she'll most likely stay while I'm just chilling out here. What a good dog. Stay. Stay. You can see how that's confusing, but again, we're proofing it. I mean, maybe you have a kid over here who's being very inviting. We want her to listen. Stay. And like I've said before, anything is okay with permission. If it's okay for your dog to be on the couch sometimes, fine. They're perfectly capable of understanding. Sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not. Yes. Good girl. In the meantime, when you're not focused on training them, make sure you are managing them. Have them in a place where they don't easily have access to the couch. If you go away to work and you leave them in your living room and you don't want them jumping on your furniture, you're not setting yourself up for success, right? This behavior is by no means completely resolved now that we've had this lesson. This is something I'll have to be consistent on. Moira did pretty well today, and I think she's ready to do some public training tomorrow, but barely. My days with Moira are going really fast right now, and we're in for a wild ride from here. And if you want to try a cutting-edge diet for your dog, go to trynom.com/Zach to get 50% off of a 2-week trial of Nom Nom. Subscribe to my channel, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and get both of my books too. I'll have all of the links below. Moira, I can't wait until tomorrow.